Alien shocked. You captured human children. Are you insane? The morning on the small frontier colony of Silver Creek started like any other. Children ran barefoot across the dusty yards, their laughter echoing through the narrow streets. The wind carried the smell of metal from the nearby factories, and the twin suns warmed the wooden panels of homes that were patched together from whatever the settlers could find. The colony was far from Earth, on a planet humans had only recently begun to settle. The land was rough, the soil was thin, and the nights were long and cold, but the people had made it their home. Daniel Ross, the colony's security officer, walked through the main square, nodding to settlers who greeted him. He was tall and solid, with broad shoulders and a calm face that rarely betrayed worry. He liked to start his day with a walk, checking the settlement for any signs of trouble. It was a small habit, but it gave him a sense of control in a place that could be unpredictable. He noticed the usual things, the crates of supplies being unloaded from cargo drones, the merchants setting up small stalls, the children running around. But today something felt off. He frowned as he approached the edge of the square. One of the children he often saw, a little girl named Emma, was missing. He thought it was strange, but tried not to panic. Maybe she wandered too far, he muttered to himself. He asked a few people if they had seen her, but no one had. That was when he noticed other children were also missing. First 2, then 3 more, and finally the realization hit him like a blow to the chest. Several children had vanished from the colony overnight. He ran back to the main administration building, his boots kicking up dust. Inside, Lisa Brown, a civilian analyst who often worked with him on colony security, was already reviewing the morning reports. She looked up when he entered, her face pale. "Daniel, it's worse than we thought," she said, pointing at the screen. 5 children are missing, all from different parts of the colony. No signs of struggle, no alarms triggered. It's like they vanished into thin air. Daniel rubbed his temples. That's impossible. The security drones would have noticed something. The children were always within camera range. He paused, thinking. Unless someone disabled the systems. He looked at Lisa. And whoever did this knew exactly what they were doing. They planned it carefully. Lisa nodded. I checked the nearby sectors. There's no unauthorized travel, no ships leaving the planet in the middle of the night. But if they used something we don't know about, maybe some kind of cloaking or teleportation technology, she trailed off. The idea sounded ridiculous, but nothing else made sense. Daniel felt a cold knot of fear tighten in his chest. This wasn't just a local crime. It had the marks of something much bigger. Someone had taken the children deliberately, and the colony was completely defenseless against it. He immediately called for a meeting with the colony leaders. Mayor Tom Ellis, a kind but tired man in his 50s, joined them along with Captain Megan Hall, who oversaw the colony's small defense force. We need answers, Tom said, pacing the room. These are our children, we can't just sit here. Daniel spoke firmly. We are not sitting here. Lisa and I will start a full investigation immediately. Every drone, every sensor, every patrol, we'll check them all. But I have to warn you, whoever did this is not human, or at least not local. No one we know could pull this off. Megan crossed her arms. Then what do we do if it's not human? Our weapons are barely enough to defend against space pirates, let alone something advanced enough to bypass all our systems. She looked at Daniel. We can't just wait for them to come back. Daniel nodded. We won't wait. We'll start by tracking any unusual signals, any unusual activity near the colony. I want patrols on every perimeter, and we need to gather the families, keep them safe, and calm them down. Panic will only make things worse. While they spoke, the parents of the missing children were arriving at the building, their faces etched with worry. Mothers clutched empty bedsheets, fathers paced like lions in cages. Daniel tried to reassure them as best he could, but he knew words would do little to ease their fear. A little boy named Billy, who had lost his younger sister, clung to his father and refused to let go. We'll find them, Daniel said quietly, though he could feel the weight of uncertainty pressing on him. I promise we'll do everything we can. Outside the building, the colony's surveillance systems were rechecked. Every camera, sensor, and drone was meticulously reviewed. Lisa worked day and night scanning data, looking for the tiniest irregularity. She noticed something unusual on one of the distant security satellites, a faint trace of energy that didn't match any known ship or drone signature. She called Daniel over. Look at this, she said. See that shimmer? It appeared briefly near the outer sectors last night. It's gone now, but it's not natural. No human ship can move that fast or leave a signature like this. Daniel squinted at the screen. Could it be a wormhole, a small jump gate? Maybe, Lisa said. But if it is, someone else made it, and they used it to take the children. Daniel felt a chill run down his spine. Then we're dealing with aliens, he said. The word hung in the air, heavy and terrifying. The colony had never faced anything like this before. Aliens existed in theory, in stories, in council reports, but never here, never on Silver Creek. The thought that someone powerful enough to take children from the heart of the colony had arrived was almost unbearable. He spent the next few hours coordinating search teams, sending messages to nearby colonies, and scanning communications channels for any unusual activity. All the while, Lisa continued her analysis, tracing the strange energy signature and comparing it with databases of known alien technology. By evening, a response came from one of the distant colonies, a simple transmission that made Daniel's heart sink. "We've seen similar disappearances before," the message read. "Aliens taking children for experiments. You are not alone." Daniel looked at Lisa, who simply nodded. The reality of the situation was now clear. This was not a random crime, not a kidnapping for ransom, not a local pirate attack. This was part of something much larger, something terrifying, and they had no idea why humans, especially children, were being targeted. The night fell over Silver Creek and the colony went into lockdown. Families stayed indoors, the streets were empty, and the stars above shone cold and distant. Daniel stood on the highest tower he could find, looking out at the dark horizon. He could not see any ships, any signals, any clues, but he knew they were out there, watching, waiting, and he felt the weight of every missing child on his shoulders. He remembered Emma's laughter that morning, the way she had waved to him as he walked through the square. He could still hear it in his mind, a sharp contrast to the fear that now filled the colony. He clenched his fists, vowing silently that he would bring the children back, no matter what it took. Deep in the galaxy, far beyond Silver Creek, the alien captors watched their prize. They did not understand why humans were so different. Children were just weak vessels to them, something easy to control, something insignificant. Yet even as they celebrated their cleverness, sensors on their ships detected something unusual. Signals of human ships moving faster than they should, systems engaging that were not supposed to exist yet. It was subtle, almost imperceptible, but it was enough to make the eldest among them pause. A feeling they did not understand, a mixture of fear and caution, started to creep into their minds. Back on Silver Creek, Daniel and Lisa worked through the night, sharing theories, coordinating search patterns, and analyzing every piece of data they could find. The colony slept fitfully, parents hugging their remaining children close, unsure what tomorrow would bring. Daniel looked up at the stars again, thinking of Emma, Billy, and the others. He promised himself that they would not fail, that the missing children would come home. And he also realized, with a heavy certainty, that whatever had taken them was not prepared for what humans would do in response. The morning came quietly over Silver Creek. The sky was painted in soft shades of orange and pink, but the beauty did nothing to ease the tension in the colony. Parents whispered in small groups, eyes darting to the empty streets, while soldiers and volunteers checked fences, gates, and watchtowers. Daniel Ross moved quickly from one station to another, listening to reports and coordinating the search. Lisa Brown worked with him closely, her eyes scanning screens and notes, her mind already several steps ahead. "Daniel," she called, pointing at the monitor. "I think I found something." He rushed over, his heart beating faster. On the screen, faint patterns of energy flickered across the outer sectors of the colony. They moved too fast and too smoothly to be natural, and the shapes seemed deliberate, almost as if someone had traced them. "What is it?" Daniel asked. "I don't know yet," Lisa replied. "But this is where the children disappeared. Look at the timing." Last night, exactly when they went missing, this energy appeared and then vanished. Daniel leaned closer. "Could it be a transport, some kind of alien teleporter?" "Maybe," Lisa said, "but if it is, it's advanced. Faster than anything human, faster than anything I've ever seen in the Council database." Daniel felt a chill. "Then we're not just dealing with aliens who can sneak onto our colony, we're dealing with aliens who can move faster than we can track, and they have the children." Outside, the colony's security teams were beginning a more active search. Small patrol ships flew low, scanning the terrain with sensors. Ground teams moved through forests and hills near the colony, calling out for any sign of the missing children. Parents followed, hoping to see a familiar face, a hand, a shadow. Hope and fear clashed in their hearts with every passing hour. Daniel and Lisa tried to keep everyone calm, but their own worry was harder to mask. They took turns checking the data, calling nearby settlements, and analyzing the strange energy signature. Every lead seemed to vanish as quickly as it appeared, and the realization was sinking in that the alien captors were not making mistakes. They were careful, precise, and cruelly deliberate. In the Council of Alien Species, far away from Silver Creek, the captors gathered. Their leader, a tall, thin creature named Krell, paced nervously. His eyes were wide, scanning the holographic map in front of him. "They are humans," one of his lieutenants said. "Children, what will we do with them?" Krell's voice shook slightly. "We have captured them. We will use them as bargaining chips. It is simple." Another voice echoed from the corner. "Are you certain this is wise?" "The human race, they are not like other species. The Council's records warn us. Humans protect their young unlike any other." Krell waved the warning away. "Nonsense, they are weak. We have taken 5. It is not enough to worry about." Yet in the silence that followed, a shadow of doubt crossed Krell's mind. The energy signatures the humans had detected, the quiet movements around Silver Creek. It was subtle, but it suggested preparation. He did not understand it, but the instinct of caution stirred within him. Back on the colony, Daniel and Lisa discovered more strange readings. The energy patterns seemed to follow a rhythm, almost like a heartbeat. Lisa studied it, frowning. "It's as if the captors are moving the children in intervals," she said. "They aren't keeping them in one place, they're testing something." Daniel's jaw tightened. "Then we don't have much time, we have to act before they move again. I want tracking devices on everything, ships, vehicles, even animals. We need to follow these patterns." Lisa nodded. She worked quickly, preparing signals and sensors, sending them to patrols. The morning passed, and by noon they had a partial map of where the energy flickers had appeared. It was far from perfect, but it gave them a direction. As the humans worked, the alien captors monitored their own data. Krell noticed that humans were not panicking. They were methodical, organized, and oddly calm for a species that had just lost children. The captors whispered among themselves. "They do not understand fear," one said. "How can they remain so composed?" Krell felt a flicker of unease. "We underestimated them," he muttered. "We will see if that is dangerous soon enough." In the human colony, Daniel prepared a small strike team to follow the energy patterns to their source. He chose volunteers who knew the terrain well and could act quickly without drawing attention. Among them were Captain Megan Hall, veteran soldier Jake Morgan, and medic Amy Clark. They would move carefully, quietly, but swiftly. "Remember," Daniel said, looking at each of them, "our goal is the children. We do not engage unless absolutely necessary. We track, we observe, and we rescue. No one goes reckless. These aliens may be stronger than we expect." The team nodded, understanding the gravity of their mission. They moved out in small vehicles, following the trail of faint energy signatures. The path led them through forests, over hills, and into rough terrain far from the settlement. The further they went, the more unusual the readings became. There were distortions in the air, faint hums in the ground, and patterns in the stars that did not make sense. As night approached, they reached a cliff that overlooked a hidden valley. From above, they could see a strange construction, something not natural and not built by humans. Glowing lights and thin metal structures jutted out from the terrain. The energy readings were stronger here. Amy Clark whispered, "This has to be it. The children are inside." Daniel nodded. "Stay alert. We don't know what we're dealing with. They may be dangerous and they may have more surprises for us." They carefully descended into the valley, moving like shadows. Every step was calculated, every sound minimized. The children's voices were faint, muffled, almost as if they were calling without knowing how. Emma's laughter, a sound Daniel had feared he would never hear again, flickered in the distance, making his heart ache and burn with determination. They reached the perimeter of the alien structure. It was unlike anything they had seen, tall, thin, and smooth, with strange symbols that glowed softly. A low hum vibrated through the air. The energy readings spiked, confirming that the children were inside. Jake Morgan checked his equipment. "I can get through the outer doors," he said, "but there will be alarms. We have to move fast." Daniel thought for a moment. He knew they couldn't wait for reinforcements. Every second mattered. We go now, stick to the plan. We rescue the children, and we get out before they realize we're here. They moved forward, entering the alien structure carefully. Inside, the air was cold, sterile, and strange. The walls pulsed with light in rhythm with the energy patterns. The children were in small enclosures, barely large enough to stand, but unharmed so far. Emma saw Daniel and ran toward him, crying and laughing at the same time. Daniel hugged her tightly. "We're here. You're safe now." Other children followed, drawn by their voices. Amy Clark checked each child, ensuring they were unharmed, while Jake Morgan secured the exits. The team worked quickly, but they could feel the tension building. The alien captors were aware of intruders, and they would respond soon. From outside, the alien sensors picked up the intrusion. Krell's voice rang through their communications. "Humans, what are you doing here? You cannot take them." Daniel stood firm. "We are taking our children, leave them, and no one gets hurt." Krell's confusion and fear were clear even through the transmission. He had never seen humans act like this. They did not panic, they did not beg, they simply acted with precision and determination. It was unsettling. The rescue team moved back through the corridors, children in tow. Alarms began to sound, but Daniel had anticipated this. The team used secondary exits, hidden passages, and terrain cover to escape. As they emerged into the night air, the stars above seemed to shine with new intensity. Once they reached the vehicles, the children were safe, the team exhausted but uninjured. Daniel looked back at the alien structure, a sense of grim satisfaction in his chest. They had succeeded, but he knew this was only the beginning. The aliens were powerful, the galaxy was vast, and they would not forget this intrusion. Yet, as the team returned to Silver Creek, the colony's people gathered to welcome the children home. There was relief, tears, and laughter. The parents hugged their children, whispered promises and prayers. Daniel and Lisa watched quietly, knowing that they had done something extraordinary. Far away, Krell and his captors reeled from the events. They had not expected humans to respond so swiftly or decisively. The word insane echoed in their minds as they tried to understand what had just happened. Humans were not just another species. They were unpredictable, dangerous when pushed, and utterly fearless when their children were involved. For Silver Creek, the night ended with the children safe, the colony calm, and the people stronger than before. But in the shadows of the galaxy, the ripples of this event began to spread. Humans had shown what they could do, and the aliens were starting to realize that capturing human children was a grave mistake. A mistake that could change everything. After the children were safely returned to Silver Creek, the colony tried to settle back into its daily rhythm, but nothing felt normal. Parents hugged their children tighter, teachers kept them closer during lessons, and the streets, though alive with activity, carried an undercurrent of tension. Daniel Ross and Lisa Brown worked tirelessly, reviewing the events of the rescue, analyzing every piece of data they had collected, and trying to predict the aliens' next move. "They won't forget this," Lisa said quietly as they looked at the maps on the monitors. Krell and his group, they've never seen humans act like this before. The Council's old warnings, they're probably starting to believe them now. Daniel nodded. "We need to be ready. If they retaliate, Silver Creek will be the first target. We can't let that happen." Meanwhile, in the distant halls of the Galactic Council, reports of the incident reached representatives of various species. The council chamber, a massive room filled with light and technology, buzzed with tension. Delegates from dozens of planets argued over what had happened. "Humans are not like the other species," said one delegate, a reptilian being with green scales. "We underestimated them. Capturing children was a mistake beyond measure." Another, a small, insect-like species, clicked nervously. They acted with precision without panic. They struck and recovered the children as if they had prepared for this moment for generations. "This is not behavior we understand." Krell appeared before the council, his thin frame trembling. "We did not think they would respond this way. We did not know they would be so fearless. They took back what we thought we had and did it without hesitation. Are you not concerned for your own species if humans act like this when threatened?" The council fell silent. For the first time, the delegates felt the weight of human potential. Whispers and murmurs spread through the chamber. Humans had always been a minor power in galactic politics, known more for curiosity and stubbornness than strength. But the Silver Creek incident changed that perception. Humans were not only capable of defending themselves, they would not forgive the endangerment of their own. Back on Silver Creek, the children tried to return to their routines, but the trauma lingered. Emma sat with Daniel one afternoon, fiddling with her fingers. "Daniel," she said softly, "will they come back?" He looked down at her, his expression serious but gentle. "We don't know," he said, "but we are ready. We will protect you and every other child here." "That is a promise." The adults worked to fortify the colony. Fences were strengthened, sensors upgraded, and patrols doubled. Jake Morgan and Captain Megan Hall trained new recruits in strategies for defending the settlement, preparing them for situations they had never imagined. Amy Clark cared for the children, checking their health, listening to their fears, and quietly teaching them to stay strong. One evening, as the sun set and painted the sky in red and gold, Daniel and Lisa received a message intercepted from the alien fleet. It was not a threat, not in words, but in tone. The aliens were confused, cautious, almost fearful. The message read simply, "Why do humans care so much for their young? Are you all insane?" Daniel frowned. "They don't understand. Humans protect their children no matter what." "That's why we are dangerous. That's why they are afraid," Lisa nodded. "They're learning slowly. They underestimated us, and now they know that humans will act in ways they cannot predict." As the night deepened, scouts reported unusual movements in nearby space. Alien vessels, small and fast, appeared near the outer colonies. They did not attack yet, but the presence was deliberate. The humans were being watched. Every action taken by the colonies was analyzed. Daniel called a meeting with the colony leaders and the strike team. "They're testing us," he said. "They're seeing how we respond, where we are vulnerable. We have to stay one step ahead." Jake Morgan leaned forward. "So we strike first, or do we wait for them to make a move?" Daniel shook his head. "We wait, we prepare. But we also act carefully. If they try to take any humans again, we will respond immediately. We cannot let fear control us. The children are safe, but we must ensure that stays true." Over the next few days, the colonies coordinated. Small human fleets moved silently in space, gathering intelligence, observing alien movements. Data flowed back to Silver Creek, where Daniel, Lisa, and other analysts processed it. They noticed patterns, alien ships avoiding certain zones, moving unpredictably, and showing hesitation when near human populations. Lisa studied the signals late one night, exhaustion weighing heavily on her. "Daniel," she said, "look at this. They're not just watching. They're scared. They are starting to calculate, trying to predict human behavior. They don't know what we'll do next." Daniel's eyes were sharp. "Then we have an advantage. We must use it carefully. Every move we make should reinforce that humans are not to be underestimated." Not just Silver Creek, every colony, every settlement. Outside the colony, the children began to play again, cautiously, slowly, as if testing the world for safety. Emma laughed, but it was quieter than before. Billy ran across the yard, chasing his friends, occasionally looking back to see if Daniel was watching. The adults tried to smile, but the shadow of fear lingered. They had seen the power of their children's innocence and their own courage, and they knew that the galaxy would notice. Meanwhile, in the Alien Council, Krell argued with his peers. "We cannot confront them directly," he said. "They are too dangerous. Their instincts, their reaction to the endangerment of children, we did not account for it. If we escalate, we risk more than we can imagine." Another delegate, a tall, blue-skinned being, spoke softly. "They are learning. Every action humans take is precise, deliberate. They are organized in ways that surprise even us. We should reconsider our approach. Threats will not work with them." Krell clenched his fists. "Then what do you propose? We cannot ignore them. If they are this capable at one colony, they will be stronger elsewhere. We must understand, adapt, or suffer consequences." Back on Silver Creek, Daniel called for a simulation exercise. Every adult, every defender practiced possible attack scenarios. Children were kept safe, but drills were conducted in quiet areas, reinforcing the colony's readiness. Lisa monitored alien signals, tracking every movement, every message, trying to anticipate the next phase of their behavior. "They are learning too," she said to Daniel. "Not just humans. Aliens are analyzing, adapting. They may be scared, but they will try again. We have to be ready for anything." Daniel nodded. "Humans survive by being adaptable. We use what we have, we plan, and we act when needed. Fear does not control us. Courage and preparation do." As the days passed, small victories and small discoveries built confidence. The colony had discovered alien sensors, small stealth drones, and minor patrols. Each one was disabled or avoided. Human children were safe, the colony was stronger, and word of human resilience slowly spread through the galaxy. One night, as Daniel walked through the colony, he saw the children sleeping peacefully in their homes. The stars above shone bright, and for the first time in days, he allowed himself a small moment of relief. Yet, he knew the galaxy was watching, and that humans had now drawn attention in ways they could not ignore. The aliens would not forget Silver Creek, and the humans would not forgive any further attacks. The next morning, a new message came from the alien fleet. It was urgent, directed at the human colonies. The words were simple, but the meaning was clear. "We are beginning to understand. Leave your children untouched. We did not realize humans are dangerous when pushed beyond reason." Daniel read the message aloud to Lisa and the strike team. "They're scared now," he said. "We have made our position clear. Humans protect their children at all costs. The galaxy has learned that. The next move will be theirs, but now they know they cannot play with us lightly." Jake Morgan smiled grimly. "They just learned the hard way. They don't understand humans yet." Amy Clark looked at the children nearby, brushing a strand of hair from Emma's face. "Let them learn. We will protect our own always. They will see that it is not easy to threaten us." As the sun rose over Silver Creek, the colony began a new day. The children played with laughter that sounded stronger than before. Parents worked with renewed energy. Daniel and Lisa monitored the galaxy, ready for whatever came next. Humans had made their mark, showing courage, precision, and fearlessness, and the alien captors now understood a vital truth. Humans could not be underestimated, and their children were untouchable. Far across the stars, Krell and his council whispered warnings. Humans were not simple, weak creatures as they had assumed. They were organized, resilient, and utterly relentless when their young were in danger. The galaxy had learned a lesson that would ripple far beyond Silver Creek, and the humans, calm but resolute, prepared for whatever the universe might throw at them. Next days passed after the Silver Creek incident, and the colony began to settle, but the tension in the air never fully disappeared. Daniel Ross walked through the settlement, checking patrols and speaking quietly with families. Every adult he met looked tired but determined. The children played cautiously, aware of the world's dangers even as they laughed. The human presence was strong, but the shadow of the aliens' watchful eyes loomed beyond the colony. Lisa Brown worked at the monitoring station, eyes glued to screens that displayed energy signatures, communication channels, and unusual signals from nearby space. "Daniel," she said one morning, "we're picking up several fast-moving ships approaching the outer colonies. They are small, but there are too many to be coincidences." Daniel frowned. "They're testing again. We have to be ready." He called a meeting with the strike team. Jake Morgan, Amy Clark, and Captain Megan Hall gathered with him, listening carefully as he outlined the situation. "These aliens are probing," he said. "They are looking for weaknesses, seeing how we respond. We cannot panic, but we cannot ignore them either. We need to be ready for any sudden move." Jake Morgan nodded. "So we don't attack unless they attack first?" Daniel shook his head. "Not exactly. We observe, we prepare, but we also control the battlefield. If they threaten our people, we strike decisively. The moment they realize humans will not hesitate to protect their own, they will rethink their strategy." By midday, scouts reported that the alien ships were moving closer to Silver Creek. They were careful, avoiding major population centers, but the intent was clear. They wanted to intimidate. The colony's defenses were ready. The patrols had set traps, sensor networks were active, and human fleets in nearby space took positions, hidden but ready to respond. As the aliens approached, their communications were intercepted. The messages were not threats, not directly, but full of tension and confusion. "Humans are unpredictable," one message read. "They are organized, fearless. They do not act like other species. They protect their own in ways we do not understand. Caution is required." Daniel looked at Lisa. "They are afraid. They still don't understand humans. That works in our favor." The aliens tested the outer defenses first. Small ships tried to sneak past sensors, approaching the colony from different directions. Human patrols detected them immediately. Jake Morgan and Megan Hall coordinated intercepts, capturing some ships without casualties. The aliens hesitated, surprised at the precision and efficiency of the human response. Inside the colony, families watched quietly from safe locations. Parents whispered to their children, trying to maintain calm, but the tension was almost tangible. Daniel walked among them, reassuring, coordinating, and making sure every defense was in place. As night fell, the real test began. A larger alien vessel approached, its size massive compared to the small scouting ships. It hovered just above the atmosphere, sending a pulse that disrupted minor systems in the colony. The pulse was not strong enough to harm humans, but it was a warning, a show of force. Daniel gathered the strike team. "This is it," he said. "They want to see if we panic." "We do not, we respond. Prepare all defensive measures and be ready for boarding or evacuation if necessary. The children must remain safe." Jake Morgan checked weapons and shields. Amy Clark made sure medical stations were ready. Megan Hall coordinated the human patrols in space and on the ground. The colony was calm, but beneath the calm, every human heart beat with anticipation. They knew the aliens were learning, testing, but humans had been preparing their whole lives for challenges like this. Courage and calculation went hand in hand. The alien vessel fired a warning shot, a beam of light that struck just outside the colony. Sensors detected the energy, but no damage occurred. It was meant to intimidate. Daniel watched the monitors, calculating the response. "They think this will scare us," he said quietly. "They don't understand humans yet." He gave orders. Human ships in orbit moved into position. Small drones and interceptors positioned themselves between the vessel and the colony. The humans did not fire yet. They waited for the aliens to make a mistake. Patience was as important as courage. The aliens hesitated. The humans' calm, organized, and precise response was unlike anything they had encountered. Krell and his council grew anxious. "They are too controlled," Krell said. "We expected fear chaos. Instead, they are ready and prepared. Their actions are deliberate. This is not behavior we can predict." Daniel and his team noticed patterns in the alien movements. Each maneuver was careful but slow. They were learning from humans' prior responses, but that learning came too late. The humans had already calculated escape routes, intercept patterns, and defensive positions. Every approach of the alien ships was met with strategic readiness. After hours of standoff, one alien ship made a misstep, approaching too close to the colony. Jake Morgan fired a disabling shot, hitting the ship's engines. It drifted harmlessly, and the humans captured it. The children inside were unharmed, and the team evacuated them quickly. The captured alien crew was interrogated using universal translation devices. Their confusion and fear were evident. "You, humans, why do you protect your children like this?" one asked, trembling. "We thought it would be simple." 5 children, a small prize. We did not expect such reaction. Daniel looked at him calmly. "Humans are not simple. We act when our own are threatened. We do not hesitate, we do not beg, and we do not forgive. Harming our children is the greatest mistake anyone can make." The aliens were silent, unable to comprehend the resolve they faced. Fear settled in their minds in ways they had never felt before. Daniel and Lisa watched the data coming from other captured ships. The aliens were discussing humans' actions among themselves, reassessing strategies, and warning others not to test humans lightly. The colony reinforced their defenses overnight. New sensors were installed, patrol patterns changed, and communication channels were encrypted. Every human in the colony and nearby settlements knew their role. Courage was not just in the leaders. It was in every adult and older child who could contribute to protection and observation. As dawn broke, scouts reported more alien ships moving away from human colonies, retreating slowly but carefully. The message was clear. Humans were not a threat to be intimidated. They were a force to be respected, feared, and avoided when children were involved. Daniel met with the Council of Human Colonies via communication channels. "We have shown them what humans can do," he said. "We protected our children. We did not panic. We did not overreact, but we were precise and prepared. The galaxy has noticed. The aliens will not act carelessly again." Lisa added, "They are learning from us. They fear human reactions. Every time they threaten children, we respond decisively. Their caution will save lives in the future." Even as the human colonies celebrated their small victories, they knew the galaxy was vast and the aliens were powerful. Preparation and vigilance remained essential. Daniel, Lisa, Jake, Amy, and Megan worked tirelessly, ensuring that Silver Creek and other colonies were safe, and that the children were protected at all costs. In the Alien Council, Krell and his peers convened in urgent meetings. Humans are different, Krell admitted. They act with purpose, precision, and fearlessness. We cannot predict them. We cannot threaten their children. If we do, there will be consequences we cannot manage. Other delegates whispered among themselves, shocked and fearful. We assumed humans were small, weak, and simple. We were wrong, said one. Their courage when protecting their young, it is unmatched. We cannot underestimate them. Back on Silver Creek, the colony returned to a cautious routine. Children attended classes, played in the yards, and returned safely to their homes. Adults watched carefully, trained patrols moved through the settlement, and communication lines stayed active. Daniel walked among them, observing, listening, and ensuring readiness. He thought about the events of the past days, the alien threat, the rescue of the children, the standoff in space. Humans had demonstrated courage, organization, and determination. They had shown the galaxy that protecting one's own was not a weakness, it was the strongest weapon of all. One evening, Daniel looked at the stars, thinking of the humans across other colonies and settlements. They were small in numbers, but united in purpose. They would not allow children to be harmed. The aliens had learned a lesson, and the humans had proven their power without unnecessary bloodshed. Yet, he knew this was only the beginning. The galaxy had noticed humans, and humans were ready. The next challenge would come, but Silver Creek and its defenders had made their mark. They were no longer a simple colony. They were a warning, a lesson in courage, and a force that could not be underestimated. For the first time since the children were taken, Daniel allowed himself a small sense of pride. Humans had acted decisively, calmly, and intelligently. They had won the first battle not by brute force, but by courage, preparation, and precision. The galaxy would remember Silver Creek, and the humans would be ready for whatever came. Next, the calm of Silver Creek was a quiet mask over a colony ready for anything. Daniel Ross walked through the streets early in the morning, listening to the soft chatter of children playing and the steady hum of patrol drones overhead. Parents kept a careful watch on their families, and the adults who had defended the colony remained alert. The events of the past weeks had changed them. They were no longer just settlers, they were protectors, warriors in their own right, and the galaxy had taken notice. Lisa Brown joined Daniel at the monitoring station. "They are moving again," she said quietly, pointing at the screens. "More alien ships are approaching, but this time they seem hesitant, slower, more cautious. It's like they've learned from their mistakes." Daniel studied the movement patterns. "They are testing us one last time. We cannot let them believe hesitation is weakness. We respond firmly but controlled." He called the strike team together. Jake Morgan, Amy Clark, and Captain Megan Hall arrived, ready for orders. "They are probing again," Daniel explained. "This time they will try to assess our response to see if they can push further. We will show them that humans act with precision, courage, and unity. No child will be threatened, and no human will be intimidated." The alien fleet approached cautiously, their ships spread across the orbit of Silver Creek. From inside, Krell and his council monitored the human colony, tension written in every movement. "Humans are unpredictable," Krell said, his voice tense. "Every action they take is deliberate. They do not panic, they do not flee, and they protect their own with unmatched skill. We cannot risk provoking them further." Back on the colony, the humans prepared their defenses. Patrol ships positioned themselves strategically in orbit, ground teams took positions near the outskirts, and every sensor was online. Daniel walked among the teams, quietly reassuring them. "Stay calm, stay focused. We do not overreact, but we act immediately if threatened. This is how humans protect what is theirs." The aliens tested a small approach. A few ships descended toward the colony, but as soon as they neared human detection zones, interceptors moved in. Jake Morgan piloted one of the fastest drones, cutting off the alien vessels' paths and forcing them to retreat. The aliens hesitated, surprised by the humans' readiness and precision. Daniel observed from the command center. "They are learning," he said. "Every hesitation we force, every retreat they take, shows them humans will not back down. We must continue to demonstrate strength without unnecessary violence. They need to understand the consequences of threatening our children." Lisa analyzed the alien communications. "They're talking among themselves. Confusion, fear, frustration. They didn't expect humans to be so organized, so fearless, so relentless when protecting their own. At that moment, a new strategy emerged. Daniel and Megan Hall coordinated a simulated evacuation drill, sending signals suggesting the colony might relocate children temporarily. The aliens watched closely, trying to detect any weakness, but humans executed the drill flawlessly. No alarms triggered, no signs of panic appeared. The aliens' sensors detected order, calm, and preparation. Krell observed, growing anxious. They are too controlled. Their actions are deliberate. We misjudged humans. Every step they take is calculated. They are not just defending, they are teaching us a lesson. Back on Silver Creek, Daniel received reports from other human colonies. Small alien scouting teams had begun to retreat slowly, avoiding human settlements entirely. They are pulling back, he said to Lisa. They are learning that humans cannot be intimidated, that children are untouchable, and that hesitation will cost them. Lisa nodded. And that lesson will spread across the galaxy. Wherever humans are, the same principle applies. They protect their own, and anyone who challenges them learns the hard way. The colony did not relax. Patrols remained, sensors remained active, and children continued their cautious play, watched closely by adults. Daniel knew that the aliens had seen strength, precision, and courage, but humans could not assume the threat was gone. Vigilance was part of survival. One evening, a communication came directly from Krell to the human colonies. The message was simple, but the meaning was clear. We underestimated humans. Their courage, their organization, their precision. We are wrong to think they can be threatened. Leave your children untouched. Humans are not to be trifled with. Daniel read the message aloud to the strike team. They finally understand, he said. Humans have made their position clear. Our children are untouchable. The galaxy knows this now. It is not fear alone, it is respect. Respect for our courage and our determination. Jake Morgan smiled. And they learned without a single human life lost. That is impressive. Amy Clark looked at the children playing nearby. Humans win not just with strength, but with heart. Our children are the center of our power. They protect more than just themselves. They unite us all. The humans began to reclaim confidence across nearby colonies. Settlements coordinated patrols, monitored space, and reinforced defenses. Every human in the colonies understood that courage, organization, and protective instinct were their greatest weapons. Meanwhile, the aliens convened in hurried council meetings. Krell and his peers were tense. We cannot underestimate them, one said. They are fearless, precise, and united when their young are involved. Any attack will bring consequences beyond our calculation. Krell agreed. We misjudged humans. We assumed their children were easy targets. We were wrong. We must avoid threatening them again. This is not weakness. This is survival. Back on Silver Creek, the colony celebrated quietly. The children were safe, the adults vigilant, and the lessons of courage and preparation had solidified their confidence. Daniel walked through the settlement, watching families work together, patrols move in coordination, and children laugh carefully, knowing they were protected. Lisa joined him, looking at the stars. The galaxy has learned about humans now, she said. They may not like us, but they will respect us. Anyone who threatens our children will know the consequences before they act. Daniel smiled faintly. Humans act with heart and precision. Courage is not just about fighting, it's about protecting what is most precious. We have proven that. The galaxy will not forget Silver Creek. Over the following days, alien activity near human colonies diminished. Scouting teams retreated, and no further attempts were made to threaten children. The humans continued their vigilance, ready for any new challenge, but the message was clear. Humans could not be intimidated, their children were untouchable, and courage combined with careful planning was a power unmatched in the galaxy. The colony settled into a new routine. Children played freely but safely, parents watched closely, and patrols moved silently through the streets. The humans had not only survived, they had demonstrated their strength, precision, and courage in a way that no alien or species would forget. Daniel and Lisa observed from the command center, proud but aware. This is just the beginning, Daniel said. The galaxy now knows that humans act decisively to protect their own. We will always be ready, and our children will always be safe. Amy Clark walked through the yards, checking on children, ensuring they were safe and comforted. Billy ran past her, laughing, and Emma waved from a small group of friends. The sight warmed her heart. Humans had shown courage, resilience, and unity, and their children were the reason for that strength. Far across the galaxy, Krell and other alien delegates spread the news of humans' actions. Whispers traveled quickly from planet to planet. Humans act with unmatched courage when their children are threatened, and they are precise, organized, and fearless. The story of Silver Creek spread, becoming a warning and a lesson. Back on the colony, as the sun set over the horizon, Daniel looked out at the settlement. The lights of homes glimmered softly, patrol drones hovered above, and the children played quietly, watched carefully by adults. The galaxy had witnessed human courage and precision. Aliens had learned the cost of underestimating them. Silver Creek had survived, and humans had proven their power in the simplest and most profound way, by protecting their own. The night sky shimmered with stars, each one a reminder of the vast galaxy and the challenges it held. Yet the humans of Silver Creek, united, courageous, and precise, were ready. They had sent a clear message across the stars. The children of humanity are untouchable, and anyone who challenges them will face the full strength of human courage. Daniel turned to Lisa and the strike team. "We did it," he said quietly. "Not through panic, not through anger, but through preparation, precision, and courage. Humans protect what is theirs, and the galaxy now knows it." The team nodded, their faces tired but proud. Jake Morgan added, "They learned. The universe learned, and they won't forget Silver Creek or humans." As the night deepened, the colony rested, the children safe, and the humans prepared for the future. The story of courage, precision, and the unbreakable bond between a people and their young had been written in the stars. The galaxy had learned a lesson. Humans cannot be underestimated, and their children are untouchable. Silver Creek glimmered in the starlight, a quiet colony with an extraordinary story. And across the stars, whispers carried the tale of humans who acted decisively, who defended their own, and who showed that courage and precision, combined with heart, could shape the galaxy itself.